This is a logistics story. It's a story in New York City during the times of Corona, where packages and groceries started to be delivered by electric bicycles towing cargo trailers. New York is very quiet. We're just going to the Whole Foods. It's right there. It's on 41st Street, so these are the boys, the Whole Foods boys. Throwing it ad. I love it. Are these things, they work well? They're easy to take on and off? Because I was a delivery guy, and it's always like every little thing is part of the whole thing. Like the box.
This like, see.
I see
also,
how they tie them up. They just put
I think
like
like
that.
this too, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you need all of this.
It's excess, you're saying.
That's for what?
For what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just, this is, you could do without that and just have the regular wheel.
Yeah. It's just more weight,
Yeah,
basically.
more
More
weight.
weight.
It is, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's usually a little hook.
The hook's better than the straps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's cool. With this right here, you could do without.
Right.
Because when you're in a tight
Like
space, and you got
telescoping.
that bike on there,
Yeah.
you got, this is too long.
It's too much, yeah.
You can't maneuver with it. Now, if you could take this bow and cut it down, like about right here,
Yeah.
because you got to understand it, you know.
You know how much one of these things is? $4,000. If they were cheap, everybody in the city would have them. Everybody. I'm telling you. I would buy one for $1,200. That's how much I think it's worth. This is taking, and then the headset's taking all the force.
You do delivery stuff now?
No, I used to a long time ago. I'm actually a lawyer, but I love transport. It's my passion. Like moving things around the city is how the city gets better. If we could move things around the city better, that would solve at least a third of the problems of noise, smell, real estate, why apartments are unaffordable. The subway would be nicer. Everything would be. That's my opinion. I might be wrong, but I just feel strongly about it. The ball right into this thing, and this is on a good rack at the right height with the right battery power. Like, that system took a long time to figure out. All right, well, thank you for your time. I'm gonna get the undercarriage here a little bit. I don't know. In early 2020, Whole Foods, which is owned by Amazon, started shipping groceries all over New York City to people. And they did it with a few different platforms, people on hand trucks delivering groceries, but then eventually they settled on the electric bike combined with the Carla Cargo German-invented and open-source, open-design trailer, and this is what you've seen. The trailer has a great philosophy. It is expensive to buy. It's extremely high quality, and it's been iterated multiple times by people. I'm showing you pictures of the stock Carla Cargo and Carla Cargos with boxes, some of the promotional materials showing you why the Carla Cargo is so good. And as someone who's been an enthusiast of cargo bicycles, I've owned also cargo tricycles. I've owned the largest cargo tricycle truck bed in New York. And in America, it's called the Truck Trike by Bill Stites. I've experienced with a lot of electric cargo bicycles. I've owned numerous name brand cargo bicycles. I've had a few with electric motors on them, and I've tried bucket bikes, bucket trikes, back feets, all sorts of variations on this theme. And the Carla Cargo really is the solution. Three-wheel trailer, which is essentially its own gooseneck. It's a three-wheel trailer behind a bicycle. The five-wheel solution is the simplest and most elegant solution. It's remarkable that no one's ever really showed it in action before. You don't even really see it with cars that much. Cars have often two-wheel trailers. So really, this is the ideal solution, and it's simple. One of the main problems really is the length of the vehicle, its handling, and of course traction. If you put too much weight on unpowered wheels and you don't tow them with enough traction on the powered wheel, then you get slippage. I checked out a black version of the Carla Cargo. I scanned it with the Apple iPhone 12, and I have 3D scanning files. I also have the original files that the company itself, Carla Cargo, actually publishes online that you can use to build your own. It's really quite remarkable. This trailer, as shipped to New York City, costs $4,800. It's a high quality, extremely high, robust value system. The welds are great. Maybe some of the wiring isn't ideal, but I've spoken to people who maintain this, including one of the head maintenance guys for a contractor that provides these tricycles to a logistic company which works directly for Amazon. And almost nothing breaks with these things. And so it is a template for improvement or for finding newer, better solutions. So when I say solutions, I'm here showing you pictures of the bins. The bins are what they use to put shopping bags full of groceries and into the bins, stacking the bins, securing the bins on the trailer, and then getting them to where they need to be. The grocery delivery space never really went high tech until Fresh Direct came around. Fresh Direct delivers with their signature nesting clamshell bins that are made out of hard plastic. They use hand trucks, and those hand trucks are actually taken directly off mother trucks. The mother trucks use little elevators to take those clamshells off, but it's basically a hand truck situation, and it's been that way for years. UPS uses hand trucks too. It's not much different. You can deliver even heavy things on hand trucks, just like you can on trailers, but you can't do it that fast. The wheels simply aren't built for it, and it's not easy to secure your cargo load. I put this to show you the sort of edge case of when things get really heavy, what does it mean to deliver them with a small object on the street? The street is not always flat. The street is sometimes in the middle of the curb between the car part of the street and where bicycles go. That's essentially a bike lane that you're seeing that hand truck in. And there are all sorts of other types of like little weight-bearing truck trolleys, and they need to get on and off the curb. There's an incline so that it can do that. There are lots of these little things that add up and make things what they are. Hand trucks being sort of put in a line on their ends allows a very large number of hand trucks to be put in one place. This is just, more people stacking totes on hand trucks, which became a more common sight. This is a 27-gallon HDX tote. There are many sizes of totes, and there are also variations on hand trucks themselves, which can go in and out. Hand trucks are used in unusual ways to stack boxes, multiple boxes Amazon's delivering. But when it comes to groceries, this is what you see. Amazon introduced a new type of box that's not hard and not soft. It folds to create some rigidity. So the interesting thing about this box is, it's like semi-rigid, right? And the reason is because the great thing about this box is that when you take up the floor, you just got Tyvek there, right? And when the floor is that way, the whole thing, when the floor is up, collapses inwards and folds. And you got it like this. So it packs well for a staged operation of moving other boxes that go inside of this, right? There's all types of boxes and ways of getting stuff into those boxes, but the boxes stack, they go onto the hand trucks, and the hand trucks move, right? Now, why am I comparing the hand trucks when I was just talking about the Carla Cargo and bicycles, and now I'm showing you packaging? Everything is connected. It's all one part of a big system, and there's the weakest links, the strongest links, there's edge cases. So as you can see how big these crates are, this is a standard size crate. These are about the same size. These Douglaston Fairway crates don't exactly have a size on them. These are Northwestern Foods crates, and these are obviously regular pallets, much smaller. That's an H&S Bakery Inc. crate. So these are all different sizes. There's interesting sizes. This is the square milk crate size. That's a smaller milk crate size. So the logistics industry is obviously huge. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the vast diversity of different types of boxes, dollies, wheeled systems, stackable systems that save space, even all sorts of convertible hand trucks, the most popular hand trucks, the evolution and commonality of designs in the space, what these designs actually can do and how they're evolving. And then there's also, even bigger areas. There, you can look at pallets and the containerization of small delivery. Ultimately, my interest here comes from my love for Manhattan and for living in dense cities and how to improve that. Here's an example of an unusually tall and new version of beautiful scaffolding outside the Uniqlo store on 5th Avenue and 56th Street, along with my fascination with modular architecture and innovation in the urban space. I've always loved bicycling and scootering and tried many models of electric scooters and skateboards, and I've owned many of them. I've even gotten so proficient with my own electric scooter that I decided to build a trailer for it, which could carry quite a bit at high speed too. And it required a lot of effort, and I learned a lot just from seeing what would work and what would fall over. It's incredibly complicated and expensive in terms of time, effort, danger to test this kind of hardware, but And the end of the day, it relates back to a hobby. Let's go back to what's really being done on the streets of Manhattan. Here you're seeing how a staging area is set up for a lot of people with a lot of hand trucks to operate out of a truck that's parked on the street, paying public parking to set up a station. The usage of curbside space in the city and ways of using that to deliver small loads that would replace a van, it's common, but not everything works. The Bicy lift trailer, it's just been around for quite a while and it's not that popular. I don't know, it couldn't be that great. It's been designed to move large boxes around as well as pallets, but it sort of failed. This is a competitive space. Solutions succeed and fail. It may succeed in the future. I'm not trying to rag on the Bicy lift, but I'm trying to show you there's just so much here. There's so many different designs that come and go. The history of it is just too big. Every day is an experiment. This guy is seen on the street using a pallet jack to carry a whole bunch of regular a stack of boxes, of Amazon boxes. I predicted that an improvement of the Carla Cargo should be made or would be made, and what do I see? An Amazon-funded pilot of a German inventor's improvement of the Carla Cargo. It is for the company urb-e, but it is a German Porsche engineer who got employed by urb-e, which is a scooter company, to build this thing. I see it in the street, and it happens to be part of a pilot. So I stop the guys, I ask questions, and I follow up. This is like next level. Waterproof and everything. Yeah, this is not like a bunch of totes. And this box just comes right off. Yeah, but that's a very serious e-bike. Very serious tow bar and situation here. But like, I filmed these and I talked to all the guys who are couriers, and I've been trying to design something for a while. This is amazing. This is almost the same exact dimension as the Carla Cargo. You can see these go up and down. And this is on the curb. I followed up with Sven, the inventor, and I met him in New York. I spoke to him for half an hour. This trailer is really built to automotive level specs. It's supposed to carry 900 pounds, which is really quite a bit. It's got suspension on all wheels. The front wheel of the trike is really a double caster, so it's a four-wheel vehicle, but there's a steering column for two wheels in the front, and it's even got a winch because it folds. The trailer is actually able to be stood up in half, so it takes up less space, and the winch itself allows the trailer to be lowered or raised so that a large, heavy-wheeled box can be slid onto it from the curb without a curb cut. So the trailer itself can lower itself to the curb. There's a lot of features that were predictable that should be added, including hydraulic brakes and a lot of things. But this is an experimental trailer. It's got huge wheels. In some ways, it's really overly specialized because its bed is really a bunch of rails built for a very specialized box. There are a lot of really great things about it, but I would say in many ways was overbuilt. It's part of a pilot, and there are some problems with it. I've spoken to the maintenance guys, but it is truly and utterly impressive. Here's the box. This is a foldable container box that goes right on and slides on. You can put a lot of weight in there. It doesn't have the problem of putting totes on one by one, heavy totes lifting on and off onto a Carla Cargo trailer. It's a much more smooth process, and yet while these interesting foldable boxes can be wheeled in and out of a building, it's an expensive new solution. You know, maybe it's a solution in search of a problem. Those boxes are essentially the equivalent of hand trucks. They're doing what a hand truck does, but because they're foldable boxes and they can protect from the water, you know, you get maybe some advantages for outside delivery, sort of almost like a van. The double wheel caster on the front for steering, for towing, it's great. It has some issues, but it solves one major problem, which is tipping. When you put two wheels like that, you get a much larger base for the wheel. So your front wheel is essentially, it's just got an ability to turn much quicker. That still puts a lot of stress on the front headset and the entire front welded area that connects back to the trailer, so that the whole thing can rip off if you turn it too fast. So the wheels might be strong enough with the caster, but it can be really problematic. I've spoken to some of the maintenance guys that are watching over this thing. The folding aspect of this trailer is interesting because it enables it to be folded in half, as you'll see soon, and the wheels are just huge. These are automotive grade wheels, and that's, you know, a whole bunch of these things folded in half on their roller wheels, and they're just sitting, taking up space inside of a parking lot, and they're waiting to be used. There's a lot of them, and here's the folding boxes. You can really fit a lot of these boxes in one small space, and there are hand trucks too. They get used as well. They're extremely well lit, but these things are meant to go 12 miles an hour, all these trailers. You don't need to go more than 12 miles an hour in Manhattan at all when you're moving these things. You really don't, and I'll explain how I know this, because after seeing this trailer and talking to the Amazon guys, I decided to go ahead and get some more experience. I went through the application process, I signed up, and I became a Whole Foods Amazon grocery delivery guy. And Amazon was funding this entire experiment. There will be more experiments, and there may be, you know, a lot of different types of experiments. I don't know if there's a perfect solution. That may be the enemy of the good. The question is, what's really good enough? Is what we have good enough now? Clearly not. No one wants to lose money, but the innovation's going to happen one way or another because the city needs it, you know. Whole Foods. Now begins a new episode in my story. I signed up to deliver for Amazon Flex through a contractor that is in their Whole Foods building that also works with Instacart. So the Instacart guys use these labeling machines to put labels on bags that go on racks. They use the app, they go pick up the groceries. I shadowed a few guys because the Instacart pickers are not the same as the delivery guys. We take their bags from the racks and that are labeled. We use our app, and then we go and put them into bins in the staging area. This is the staging area. You see all the bins, the hand trucks. You got to set up a little area, a station for your bins while other people are setting up their bins inside of an area so you don't get in the way. There's tons of people moving around. The bags have to get taken out of shelves or chillers, and then they have to get grouped together. That's important. And put them on hand carts, put those hand trucks out the door, put the totes into the trailer, and then take the trailer to the customer. I'm showing you all of the various protocols for telling the workers how to deal with these bags. There's food in them. You have to have standards of multiple types of cleanliness, of efficiency, of making sure the customer's satisfied, of making sure the food gets to where it needs to be going in the right condition. Refrigeration is important, shaking is important, and that all comes to play in terms of how fast we can get things to where they're needed to be. So when there are not enough bikes, they got to bring more bikes. And look at that. You can kind of, you see always that technique is interesting. All right. We got that guy. We got my guy. It's a busy day, Thanksgiving, and the system's down, so a lot of complexity. See that? Just a quick mount onto the sidewalk and then pushing the bike like a hand truck almost up half a block on 92nd Street. Third one. I think 3 if there is. I think. Oh, it's the 7. We got 7 of 7 bags, getting the name of the person. There's a lot, so it's going front entrance, not the service entrance. Yeah.
It's like, well,
there's not a lot of time penalty for walking it upstairs. It's a shame they can't come down and get it.
Well, the other one too is just like, I look at it like, oh, you know, with the COVID thing and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, sorry about that. You got it.
Plenty of room, plenty of room.
After doing one shadow run, this was my first run. It was extremely easy, and I was very surprised by how smooth the software and routing was. My delivery route was so easy, I just figured there's gotta be a ranking system of difficulty for delivery. And maybe the new guys like me, they just give a really easy one because it was just so smooth, so easy. And I really I enjoyed that, and I realized you need ranking systems even for independent robotic agents. Like if you have a bunch of robots, you're still going to need them to learn routes, do different things of different, and see which ones are the best. Anyway, there's a lot of things I learned on the route, you know, and you know, speed in between drop-offs is just not a big deal. Like you're not going to save a lot of time going faster or slower. The speed at which you scan the packages out, which can itself be an issue. The speed of getting into and out of the building. Obviously, you know, some people, a bunch of people, I had to go upstairs for. One person's buzzer wasn't working, but she notified of that and actually somehow came outside and picked up the package. Even really almost right away. So I feel like Amazon notified her either maybe manually by a phone call, or possibly the app actually indicated that I was close by. That would have been genius if the Flex or the delivery Whole Foods app tells you, oh, your delivery guy's just about there. I mean, that would be something else. Just a tremendous amount to discuss. I love electric bikes. They're a huge part of this whole process. Electrification, batteries, recharging, swapping, the actual tow bar, parking properly, locking properly for security, just how to optimize just the little things, every transaction, getting totes on and off. There's a lot. Keeping the tote secure, as I said. And of course, the hand truck really kept on sticking out to me because it's the thing that goes through the threshold. It goes in, it goes out. So this is my second day doing this, and you know, there's a lot of still things I'm learning. In the morning, I did a walking run where I used a hand truck from 57th to 78th. I made 3 stops in the 78th, 79th, and 80th. And that was interesting because you got to see really sort of the distances involved and what a hand truck can do and can't do versus just this thing. I'll follow up on that later, but this is just to show you just kind of the things that maybe like a robot would have a hard time figuring out whether this was legal or not. I don't even know. I don't even know that that's a thing. But, you know, a lot of it's just the difficulty of going in and out of buildings. Honestly, there's a lot of confusion around that. And the needless scanning of packages, it seems like. Not needless, but just it's needed, but keeps track of everything. But it seems like that can be streamlined. A big challenge was getting things half on the curb, half off the curb to get out of the way of cars. It rained one day, so I got my rain day, and that was an educational experience. And man, scanning the bags, it really can be confusing. Bags get wet, bags rip, fragile bags. I had eggs crack on me once. It can be somewhat anxiety-provoking. It just gets really messy. Automating this process can be very complicated because basic things like rain require human attention. The system explains itself, right? So it's like, it's not quite idiot-proof. Delivery is a little bit complicated. I mean, and you look around the street and you're like, everything you get in this city is like moved by some guy, like by somebody, right? And this sort of dream imagination of a lot of oversimplifiers that robots are going to take care of everything ain't going to happen. Not in this complicated world. Maybe in a different oversimplified futuristic world, but no, delivery guys are doing all sorts of complicated things that people don't get. They're taking instructions for every specific thing. Oh, guys are delivering, let's say, Christmas trees. Well, that's a little bit of an odd-shaped object. Well, you can get any random dude, and just they get it. You know, they get that the tree can't be blocking the sidewalk for like 3 minutes. Ultimately, the new model is delivering things quickly by small module. This is a messy process, but it's rapidly increasing in efficiency. Despite the fact that it's an exhausting process, the workers work so hard to get things done. I personally don't ever order my groceries. I've always gone throughout the epidemic to the grocery store, but I'm very appreciative of all the people that help make this happen. It's really a miracle, and it makes New York great.